Hi, I'm Scott Humphrey, CEO of the World Floor Covering Association, and this is Leadership Live. This week on Leadership by the Letter, we're still with the letter F, and the word is finish, to complete the task. I've had the privilege of working with some great leaders in my life and some that are not so much so. But one of the things that differentiates great leaders from average leaders is their ability to make sure that the task is not only started, implemented, but completed. Many leaders are very good visionaries. They love to hover at 30,000 feet and be the dreamer and create new and exciting things. But they get kind of bored when it gets into the detail, and they can be very weak at finishing the task. I'm one of those. My nature is to dream and to be thinking about the next big thing that has to be done. So one of the key things that you can do is, if you're not a strong finisher, surround yourself with people who are. Put people around you that love the detail aspect, the things that you may not enjoy, and then give them the freedom to do what they do. Then your responsibility changes, not simply to finishing the task, but to overseeing the task to make sure that it is completed correctly. That means you don't have to be involved in every detail. You simply have to check in on a regular basis, make sure that progress is being made, and that the task is ultimately completed so that you can move on to the next big thing. Now, I don't use a lot of scripture in here, although I think the Bible is one of the greatest leadership books of all time. But there is a scripture in 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24 that says, "Don't you know that in a race, everyone runs the race, but there's only one winner. Run like you want to win." In other words, the Apostle Paul, who writes this, is talking about the fact that we need to run like we want to finish the race, like we want to complete it. Let me give you a couple of examples. John Stephen Akwari in the 1968 Olympics was a runner from Tanzania. In fact, he had beaten the gentleman who went on to win the gold medal in the marathon. But Akwari, they're running in Mexico City. It was hot. It was high altitude. Many of them had not trained for this type of run. In fact, 18 of the 75 people who started the marathon dropped out before the marathon was completed. Akwari, about halfway through the marathon, his muscles cramped up and he fell. He busted his knee and dislocated his knee, and yet went on to finish the race. He finished an hour or more after the person who had won the race, even after the secondary tier and the third tier had completed. Everybody has left, but then word got out that somebody was still trying to complete the marathon, and people came back into the Coliseum to see who this person was and to cheer him on. And John Stephen Akwari finished the race, and the media got to him and they said, "Why didn't you quit? 18 people had already stopped. Why did you complete the task?" And here's what Akwari said: "My country did not send me here to run the marathon. They sent me here to finish the marathon." If you are a leader, those who are looking to you are expecting you not only to start, to come up with great ideas, but they also want you to complete the task, or to at least make sure that the task is completed. Now, is that always easy? No, it's not always easy. In fact, in the 2020 Olympics, in one of the qualifiers for the 1,500 meters, a runner by the name of Sifan Hassan, a Dutch runner, fell about 380 meters before the finish of the race. Now, many people, when they fall, they have a setback, they just stop. That's it. Now, they may move on to something else, or they may settle in that pain for a while and use that as an excuse not to move forward. But Sifan Hassan did not. She got up and went on to win the 1,500 meter qualifier. That's right. She fell on the last lap and went on to win that qualifying race. In fact, 11 hours later, she went on to win the gold medal in the 5,000 meter race. Listen, finishing is essential for a leader. It may not always be your responsibility, but it is your responsibility to make sure that what is started, to what you have dedicated the time of your team to, gets finished, certainly before you move on to the next big thing. So let John Stephen Akwari and Sifan Hassan be an inspiration to you, that as leaders, we're not simply about thinking up the next great thing. It is our responsibility. It is our privilege to finish the task. Do that. Then go out there and lead.